This year, Pokemon has announced 48 new Mega Pokemon coming to the franchise, which will eventually come to Pokemon Go, 2 of which we'll be getting very soon as part of the Go Tour happening in Los Angeles and globally in Taiwan. And recently, Pokemon Go Hub has officially added all of these new Mega Pokemon to the Pokemon Go database so we can see exactly what they're going to be like when they are eventually released into Pokemon Go. And today, we'll go over all of them. And this will be very helpful because it will give you a guide on which Pokemon are kind of important to catch now, and also which candies you want to stock up on so that when the Megas release, you've got good Pokemon, bunch of candies to power up, and you'll be at the top of the meta. And speaking of top of the meta, at the end of the video, I'll go over exactly which Pokemon will probably be the best out of these 48 brand new Mega Pokemon. All right, let's start with the starters. Mega Meganium to begin, which will be a Grass and Fairy type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,623 CP. This will be interesting because kind of all of these starter Megas, think Sceptile and Venusaur, are like really useful and extremely meta relevant. So it's going to be interesting to see if these new Mega starters will also have the same efficiency. But at 4,600 max CP and also being a Fairy Grass type, this thing will definitely be useful when it comes out. Then we've got Mega Embror, which looks insane. Can't wait to see these in Pokemon Go. This is going to be a Fire and Fighting type, which I think Blaziken, Mega Blaziken is too. With a max CP, by the way, of 4,942. This is absolutely going to be a useful Fire and Fighting type Pokemon, most likely depending on the moves that it gets, which should be Low Kick. Blast Burn is going to be the exclusive move with Embror. We've got Focus Blast, so it's going to be good for either a fighting or a fire type. Now, personally, I don't like Embror or the entire evolution line of Tepig, so I don't think I have many of them or many candies. So I guess maybe this is something to focus on. What I do have a lot of, because it's my fiance's favorite, is the Totodile family. And that brings us to Mega Feraligatr. I'm very excited about this one. This is going to be a water dragon type, actually. Very, very cool dual typing water dragon with a huge max CP of 5,113. And it has a very high attack stat, by the way, of 304, which basically means this thing's going to do a ton of damage. Its HP is rather low. Defense stat is pretty good. This is, I think, going to be a very, very good water and dragon type, again, depending on the moves that you get on this. Now, for Feraligatr, we have Feraligatr in Pokemon Go. We know which moves it can get. The best moves are going to be Water Gun and Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon being the Community Day exclusive move, and this is going to be a good water type, right? It might be a good dragon type in the sense of like it's very high CP, and it will boost the attack, and it will boost the damage of other dragon type Pokemon, let's say like in a raid that you're in, you know? But as a dragon type attacker itself, it's not going to be the best. So it's definitely going to be like useful as a water type, but Mega Pokemon are useful not just because they do damage, but because they have bonuses attached to the Mega typing. So, you know, if there's an event where there's water types and dragon types spawning, having a max level Mega Feraligatr actively Mega evolved is going to be great, because it's going to boost the candy and XP and XL candy on both of those typings. So really useful Mega Feraligatr. Also, it's important to note too that this year, 2026, is very, very Mega forward. The Pokemon TCG, like the trading cards that are coming out this year are all like Mega Pokemon focused. The main series game reintroducing Mega Pokemon, Pokemon Go, obviously is going to have a huge focus on Megas. So this is a really important video for 2026, and we're going to see a lot of Mega this year. So that's why we're so focused on it, and why I think this big list of new Mega Pokemon, we're probably going to see a lot of them. Next is Mega Barbinacle. Barbaracle. Have I always said that wrong? I've always called it Barbinacle. That's not what it's called. It's Barbaracle. Wow. You learn something new every day. Well, this freak show is going to be a rock water type, useful, with a max CP of 4,478. Now, we do have very, very useful rock types already in Pokemon Go. Also, this can't really get that good of rock type moves, and we have very useful water types, right? So, like, this thing is probably not going to be the best rock or water. Its highest DPS, which is damage per second, basically its highest damage move combination is Fury Cutter and Razor Shell, which is a bug water type dual kind of move there. So it'll be good as a water type. It'll probably be good as a mega water type. The stats are just okay on it, but 4,400 CP, definitely useful if you need it. Mega Starmie up next. This is a great Pokemon and one that we've already seen in the trading card game, which has been fun. Actually, a lot of these Pokemon we've seen in the trading card game, and again, 2 of them we will see in the next like week or 2 at the time that I'm recording this video. But Mega Starmie, gonna be fun. Water Psychic type Pokemon. It looks fun. It's just like a huge Starmie, I guess. That's mega. With a max CP of 4,184. Its best moveset, though, is Psywave and Psychic. So even though this is, you know, Starmie is a water type Pokemon, right? It's a mega, well, it's a water Psychic type. It's probably going to be most useful as a Psychic type, which will be very interesting. 4,100 CP, though. We do have some very, very good Psychic type Pokemon, especially Megas. But as always, it's a dual type Mega. It's going to be useful, I'm sure, and definitely worth getting. Mega Floette Eternal is next. It looks like there's different versions of this, which is funny because Flabébé has been a Pokemon that we've had as a part of a ton of events. It has a bunch of different versions, and it has different regional versions, and it has shinies. It's kind of an interesting family just because it's rather useless because Florogress is not that great. But now this has a Mega. I don't exactly know how this new Mega family, I'm going to put in quotes, works because it's not just Mega Floette, it's Mega Floette Eternal. So I'm going to assume there's different versions of the Megas that you can get, and maybe this is dependent on the different evolution or different region. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Or let me know in the comments if you know. But this is going to be a pure fairy type with a max CP of, get this, 5,322 and a really high attack stat. So this might actually be the best fairy type in Pokemon Go when it's released. Although it does not get a fairy type fast attack, which means its best moveset will be Vine Whip, which is grass, and Dazzling Gleam, which is fairy. So I don't know, this thing's gonna be kind of a monster. And like, if you need a mega fairy type to go in on a raid, this is going to be the one that you're going to want. So this actually makes, and this is kind of what today's video is about, this makes a previously kind of useless Pokemon, which is Flabébé, it makes it really useful now. So now we're probably going to, all of us are probably going to want to hunt Flabébé when it's available, especially in like field research or eggs, so you can get higher IVs, trade it so that you can get a hundo, and get a bunch of candies ready for a Mega. This is actually gonna be a very useful Mega. What won't be, unfortunately, is probably Mega Meowstic. Another, weird Pokemon, right? Like Meowstic, not very useful, but the Mega is gonna be a pure Psychic type with a max CP of 4,379. It's going to be okay, right? Like 4,300 CP is obviously very big, but again, we do have some good Psychic type Mega Pokemon. And of course, when Mega Mewtwo, like the Mega Mewtwo's come out, they'll be the best Mega, or the best Psychic type Pokemon until the end of time. So Mega Meowstic is going to be just kind of like a fun one to have in game, I think. Mega Pyroar, very cool because Litleo and Pyroar are kind of useless Pokemon. They're cool, they have a shiny, I guess, but like pretty useless. But now that it has a Mega, it becomes useful. Mega Pyroar, very interestingly, is going to be a Fire Normal type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,351. It doesn't get, I mean, it might get normal type moves, but they're definitely not, they don't do a lot of damage. The best, it's going to be a good fire type attacker with Fire Fang and Overheat as the highest damage moveset. And again, 4,300 is pretty good. We do have great fire type Megas like Charizard Y, but Mega Pyroar will still be pretty good. And again, it will make Litleo useful now. Very fun. 2 new Megas that I did not see coming were the Mega Raichus. So Mega Charizard has Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. They're different typings. They have different max CPs. They do different things, right? Pikachu is going to have 2 new Megas, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. So cool. We have, I mean, all of us, if you've played Pokemon Go for at least a year, you probably have a million Pikachu candy because it is a part of every single event. We get costume Pikachu all the time. It is just annoying. Like, we have too many Pikachu, right? But now it's actually useful because Pikachu candy has never been useful, right? Except for like Alolan Raichu, which is like decent in PvP in certain leagues and situations, but not all of us PvP, right? So Pikachu candy, I have like 25 million of it and I will never use it. Now it's useful because Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y exist. Now, they are not like Charizard where Charizard, Charizard X and Charizard Y are like different. They look different and they have like different usefulness. These are not like really like that. Mega Raichu X is going to be just a pure electric type with a max CP of 3969. So as an electric type, you know, 3969, nice, is pretty good, right? That's pretty good CP. You know, we have some good electrics like Mega Ampharos. I'm trying to think what other ones we have. Mega Manectric. Maybe we don't have like great electric type megas, right? Maybe we do. I probably should look at my account. It's fine. But this will definitely be useful, and it will make Pikachu, for the first time ever, useful. We've had Pikachu for 10 years, right? And it's never been useful. It's just like a cool thing to collect with a costume, but now it's useful. So that's very exciting for Mega Raichu X. Mega Raichu Y will also be a pure electric type, and it's going to have a bit higher of a max CP at 4274. For both of these, Thunder Shock and Wild Charge will be the best moves to have on it. And it's just going to be a very, very hard-hitting electric type, both Mega Pikachu X, or I'm sorry, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. The only difference between the two is that they look a little bit different, and that Mega Raichu Y is like 300 more CP higher. So not a huge difference between the two of them, but, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. No, both of them, their stats, whatever. I was going to say something about their stats. Basically, Mega Raichu Y has higher CP and significantly higher attack stats, so it does a lot more damage, but its defense stat is lower than Mega Raichu X. So Mega Raichu X will last longer in battle, but it's going to do less damage per attack, so they both kind of like even out. So basically what I'm saying, it's just cool that we have a Mega Raichu now, so Pikachu Candy is useful, but there will be really no like noticeable difference between Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y when you're actually playing and using them in game. So it kind of just comes down to whichever one you like more. But that's very exciting. Then we've got Mega Clefable. This is going to be a fairy flying type, which is really, really cool and exciting. It's going to be one of the best fairy type in the game. We don't have a lot of great fairies in Pokemon Go, but Clefairy, Clefable, and now Mega Clefable are great, and the max CP will be 4,266. The best moveset will be Charm and Meteor Mash, which is a steel type move, but of course, if you want to use this as a pure fairy type, which you'll most likely want to, you'll use Charm and Dazzling Gleam as a Mega. So it's going to be really, really helpful when going up against Pokemon that are weak to Fairy. And again, this is a flying type, so it's got like a cool dual move thing. Then we have Mega Solipede, which is a really cool looking Mega, to be honest with you. And I'm kind of excited about this because like Solipede is a pretty cool Pokemon. It has a shiny, it's kind of cool, right? But sort of useless. But now it has become one of the best poison and bug type in Pokemon Go. Well, it will when it gets released. Mega Solipede will be a poison bug type with a max CP of 4107, with the best moveset being Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, so it's going to be a very, very effective poison type. And of course, it will also be a great bug type. It has good bug moves, and it makes the Solipede family useful. That's cool. Then we have Mega Victory Bell, which we're getting. This is actually, there's two Mega Pokemon from this list that we're getting in the first quarter of 2026, in February, this month that I'm recording this, and Mega Victory Bell is one of the two. Very exciting. So we are actually getting some of these brand new Megas immediately in Pokemon Go. We're not having to wait for months or years to get the new ones. We're getting them right away, which leads me to believe the rest of this year, 2026, we'll probably see a lot of these new Megas. But Mega Victory Bell, so cool. We're getting it. I'm getting it in a week. Very exciting. It's going to be a poison grass type Pokemon with a max CP of 3963. So it's going to be pretty good, right? Not going to be the best grass especially, but it will definitely probably be a very, very good poison type, which is cool. And it is a really cool looking Mega. A really cool looking Mega. And now it makes the Bellsprout family useful. And Bellsprout's Gen 1, right? Like we've had this Pokemon for 10 years now, I think. So this is great that a Pokemon that we've had for 10 years that has like not really been useful is now useful because it has a Mega. Super cool. And real quick, that's probably my favorite thing about how Mega Pokemon work in Pokemon Go. And that's like my favorite thing about getting this huge batch of 48 new potential Megas is like a Pokemon with a Mega is very useful in Pokemon Go. Even if the Mega Pokemon itself isn't that good compared to other Pokemon in its typing, you know, like Mega Victory Bell is not the best grass typing. But the fact that it's a grass type Mega makes it very useful because you can level it up to max Mega. You can use it in a bunch of different scenarios and circumstances, and it just makes Bellsprout worth catching. It makes the game more fun. So I really love how the Mega Pokemon system works in the game, and I love all of these new Megas. Very, very exciting. This next one is going to actually be insane. This is going to be like groundbreaking. Mega Excadrill, which will be a Mega ground and steel type. That's a really cool typing. And the big thing here is that Excadrill by itself is one of the best ground types in Pokemon Go. I think there's also Shadow Excadrill, I'm pretty sure, and that is also one of the best ground types. Like Drillbur, Excadrill, really useful as ground types, and ground types are great. Now they have a Mega. So this is probably going to be, I think with Mega Groudon or Primal Groudon, this might contend with Primal Groudon for the best ground type in Pokemon Go. It's going to have a max CP, get this, of 5,381 and an attack stat of 322, which means not only is it going to have super high CP, I mean 5381 is extremely high, but its attack stat is in the 300s, which is really, really high, which means it's going to have very high CP, and it's going to do a ton of extra damage. Granted, its defense stat is definitely pretty low. It's 184, which means it's not going to last that long, but if you have a very high CP Pokemon, it'll last long enough. You know, like, this is going to be great. And again, because it's a ground steel type, that gives it a lot of usefulness. The best moveset on it, highest damage, is going to be Metal Claw, Scorching Sands. But if you want to use this as a ground type Pokemon, you'll want to use Mud Slap, Scorching Sands. And when this Mega comes out, it's going to be insane. Like, this will change the ground type meta. This will become one of the best, and it already is. So that's really exciting. One of the ones I think I'm most excited for is Mega Garchomp Z. This is a crazy looking Mega Pokemon, and it is going to be really interesting to see what happens with this, because we already have Mega Garchomp in Pokemon Go. So we have Mega Garchomp and Mega Garchomp Z. If I had my other device, I would explain the difference between the two of them. But basically, you know what? Let me look at my phone. You know what? I can do this on my tablet. Okay, so Mega Garchomp in Pokemon Go has a max CP of 6,132, so it's insane. With an attack stat of 339, defense stat of 222, Mega Garchomp in Pokemon Go is ridiculous. Like, one of the best dragon ground types easily. Mega Garchomp Z is going to be 5,492 max CP and 321 attack, so it's kind of like a less good version of the regular Mega Garchomp. I kind of don't really understand like why it exists. I think it's just something cool and new. It definitely looks different, which is cool. And right, it does look different. Yeah, Pokemon Go Hub didn't adjust how they look, I don't think. At least not this one, this version of it. Yeah, Mega Garchomp Z is gonna it'll look different. It definitely will look different, I think. Or maybe not, maybe it won't look that different. Either way, it's gonna be a worse version of the current Mega Garchomp, but something cool in the game. Maybe I'm not as excited about this as I thought. What will be cool though is Mega Absol Z. Now, the normal Mega Absol is a pure dark type with a max CP of 3,732. Mega Absol Z will also be a pure dark type, but it's going to have a max CP of 4,043. So this will be much more useful, although its defense stat is very low, which means it's gonna die pretty fast, but it has a very high attack stat. So this thing is gonna do a ton of damage, but it will die relatively quick. But the cool thing is that this will become a very, very useful dark type, being, you know, a Mega with over 4,000 CP. So something to think about. Absol is a great thing to get in Pokemon Go now, and Absol Mega Energy is a great thing to get because we'll have Mega Absol Z, which will most likely use Absol Mega Energy. And that's another big thing, is that if there is a Pokemon that's getting a different Mega version, like Garchomp, like Absol, like the next one we'll talk about, it's great to stack up on that Mega Energy when it comes back. So like if we get Mega Absol back in Mega Raids before Mega Absol Z is released, it's still worth doing those regular Mega Absol raids to stack up on energy, so that when Mega Absol Z comes out, you have a ton of energy to basically like use it and evolve to it, because I think that's how it should work. Then we'll have Mega Lucario Z, which is a really, really cool one. I'm very, very excited about Mega Lucario Z. Mega Lucario, the regular version that we have, is a fighting and steel type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,300, so it already is pretty useful. Mega Lucario Z will be even better. It will be also a fighting and steel type Pokemon, but it's going to have a max CP of 4,790, so much, much higher on the max CP, although it's going to have a higher attack stat, lower defense stat, so Mega Lucario Z will have a much higher CP, and it's going to do a lot more damage than the regular Mega Lucario, but it's going to die a little bit quicker, so the higher CP should help offset that. This will become one of the best fighting type Pokemon in the entire game by far, and it's very cool looking. So Mega Lucario Z, great. This is definitely a good time to stack up on Mega Lucario Candy. We'll then have Mega Electros. This is very cool. Again, what is it? Tympole, Electric, Electros. Like, this family is kind of useless, although very cool. Like, Electros, I think, is a cool Pokemon. It's rather useless, but now it's going to get a Mega. The Mega is going to be a pure electric type with a max CP of 4,346. So it'll be pretty useful. It'll be a pretty useful electric type mega. It's going to look really cool, and it will make this Pokemon family actually useful and worth catching, which is cool because if you were lucky enough, Electros, I think, was a mighty Pokemon that spawned during last year's, not Safari Zone, Go Safari, Go Tour Safari. I always forget the name of this event. There's so many events now. But you know which one I'm talking about with the Safari Balls. Go Wild Area, the Go Wild Area event. Electros was a mighty Pokemon spawning during that Go Wild Area event. So if you got lucky enough to catch a mighty 100% IV Electros or a mighty shiny Electros, good job. Hold on to that because it's going to get a mega. Then we have my favorite from this entire list by far. If you know me, obviously Sudowoodo is my favorite Pokemon of all time. That's my boy. But Mega Dragonite is coming, and Dragonite is one of my favorite Pokemon as well. It's probably my second favorite Pokemon of all time. I love Dragonite, and Mega Dragonite looks insane. Very excited about this. This will be a Dragon Flying type Pokemon with a max CP of 5,452, so it will be one of the best Dragon type Pokemon in the game. There are a lot of good dragons. You know, we have a lot of very big mega dragons, like think Latios, Rayquaza, right? So I don't think this is going to be the best dragon type Pokemon in the game, but it will be very useful, and it just looks awesome, and the shiny's going to be great. I'm so excited about this. So Mega Dragonite is the one that I'm looking forward to the most by far, but that's just, it's cool to see. Then this Pokemon, Mega Malamar, is also coming out this month, the month of February 2026. So we're going to get this brand new Mega as well, which is super duper cool, which makes Inkay useful. Inkay, by the way, has one of the most, what would you say, unique, one of the most unique evolution mechanics in Pokemon Go, where if you want to evolve it, you have to take your device and turn it upside down and then click the evolution button. And the game sees that, and that's like a really fun evolution mechanic kind of Easter egg. So that's Inkay to Malamar, and then Malamar now will have a Mega, which is very cool because Inkay has such a great shiny. It's been around for a while. I think Nick has Trainer Tips has a Shundo of it, right? So this is great that we're going to get this Mega. It's going to be not great, but it's going to be cool, and it makes it useful because it has a Mega. It will be a Dark and Psychic type Pokemon with a max CP of 3,554. So kind of a low max CP. We have some great Dark types and Psychic types, so I don't think this is going to be like the really a top of either, but it will still be a very cool Pokemon to have, and it's a very cool Mega, and it's a good dual typing. Psychic and Dark is a great dual typing. Those are two very, very useful typings, and there's a lot of legendaries and mythicals with Dark or Psychic typing. So having a Mega Malamar Mega evolved while you're catching Mewtwo in raids is going to boost your Mewtwo candies and XL candies. This is a great Mega. Then we'll have Mega Dragalge, kind of a fun one. This makes Skrelp now useful and worth catching, which is cool because Dragalge it's a very unique Pokemon, I guess, but it now becomes useful. This is going to be a dual poison dragon type, very interesting, with a max CP of 3,956. So this will be useful. Like, this will probably be a very good poison type Pokemon. And as a dragon type, it'll be helpful to have, you know, Mega evolved for catching other dragons. But again, this makes the Skrelp family now worth catching, which is just cool. Then, oh, this one's sick. Mega Frostlass. This is so cool. So cool, Mega Frostlass. It's going to be a dual ghost and ice type. Really, really unique typing. Very cool Pokemon. I'm definitely excited about this, and it makes you know, this family much more useful to catch as well. And it's going to have a max CP of 4,243. So it will be probably useful as a ghost type. It'll be useful as an ice type. The best move will be Hex and Shadow Ball to do the most damage. So like, it'll be a good ghost. But ghost type, ice type, those are both very, very useful typings in Pokemon Go, especially just because like a lot of the legendaries and mythicals that we get in raids tend to be flying types or psychic types, so this helps a lot. So really, it'll be useful. It's very, very cool. We have another regional Mega coming to Pokemon Go. We have Mega Hawlucha. Hawlucha spawns exclusively in Mexico and South America, right? I know it spawns in Mexico. Correct me. I haven't caught this one in my Pokedex. Or if I have it in my Pokedex, it was because of like a global event. I have not gone to its native spawn land and caught it natively, which I would love to do. But Mega, actually, you know what I might be able to do in a couple of months. Interesting. Mega Hawlucha is going to be a dual fighting and flying type Pokemon. Very interesting, with a max CP of 4,449. So it will be a pretty good fighting type Pokemon, which now makes kind of like Heracross. Like Heracross is a regional Pokemon, and it's one of the best fighting types. Hawlucha is also a regional, and it will be one of the best fighting types as a Mega, because Heracross has a Mega, Hawlucha has a Mega. So that's cool. Low kick and flying press, which are both fighting type moves, are the best moves on it. So again, this will be a very cool Mega Regional, and a useful fighting type. We will then, I love this one. We'll then get Mega Chandelure. This is another one that I'm very excited for. I love the Chandelure Litwick family. I just like Halloween and spooky and like that whole, I think, that whole vibe I get down with super hard. So I think Chandelure is a very cool Pokemon, and it's already useful in Pokemon Go, actually. I think it has a Shadow typing too, and if it has a Shadow version, that is definitely useful. But Mega Chandelure is going to be a beast. Again, this is going to like enter the top of its niches. You got Mega Chandelure. It is going to be a dual Ghost and Fire type Pokemon with a max CP of 5,012. Yes, dude, this will pass 5,000 max CP. And its best move will be Fire Spin Shadow Ball, so Fire and Dragon. But, you know, of course, you can have Fire Spin Overheat or Hex Shadow Ball if you want to angle it towards either fire or ghost typing, and it's going to be great for both. This should be a top fire type, a top ghost type. We do have great fire types, again, and we have great ghost types, but this should definitely contend with them, and it's just a very useful dual typing. Another one I think everyone will be very excited for is Mega Greninja. Yes, we have Mega Greninja before Ash Greninja. Maybe we'll get Ash Greninja one day, but this is going to be great. It's another starter Mega Pokemon. I'm sure it will be very useful. I don't think it's going to be better than like Primal Kyogre, but it should still be useful. It is a dual Dark and Water type with a max CP of 4,278. Best movesets being water moves, Water Shuriken and Hydro Cannon. So this will be a very useful water type and just a really cool one, you know, because like Greninja has a great shiny, very, very great shiny, one of the best, and the Mega looks cool. So this will be fun to use. Then we have Mega Phalanx. Imagine that. Phalanx becomes useful, and this is a really cool Mega because it like stacks on top of each other. It's really great. So this is going to be a pure fighting type Mega with a max CP of 4,149. It's not going to be the best. It doesn't have great moves. Like the best moves are counter and superpower, which are good, but like we have better fighting types and like better Mega fighting types than Mega Phalanx. But it still is very cool because this makes Phalanx worth catching, which is like, it doesn't spawn that much. It has a shiny. If you got lucky enough to get the shiny with like the train conductor costume from GoFest, that was GoFest last year, right? That was super cool. Like a really, really unique costume. And now it has a Mega. So pretty cool that they've given this random Pokemon so much like love with costumes and now the Mega. But it's not going to be the best fighting type, but it'll be, you know, worth getting. Then we have another starter, Mega Chesnaught. I hate this Pokemon so much, but it's going to be pretty good. It is a dual fighting and grass type with a max CP of 4,628. So this should be pretty useful as a grass. I think it will be okay as a fighting type. You know, it definitely will help because it has the fighting type Mega boost on it, but it will be most useful as a grass type. And it makes the Chesnaught family now worth catching. Then we have Mega Skarmory. Oh, this one's so cool, and it turns gold. I wonder what the shiny is going to look like. But Mega Skarmory looks super duper cool, and it's going to make Skarmory even more useful. It's been useful, I think, in PvP, but now it's going to be useful outside of that. This will be a dual steel flying type, very interesting, with a max CP of 4,229. So I don't think this will be a good steel type, like a great steel type, and it will help because it boosts steel type, you know, through like the Mega Boost. But we have a lot of great steel type Pokemon, so it will probably crack that meta like top 10 maybe, but as a flying type, it'll probably be one of the best flying types in the game, and it's a dual typing, which is great. Then we have Mega Delphox, another starter. This is a crazy looking Mega Pokemon, by the way. I actually kind of rock with this. Like I don't really like Delphox. I think it just looks weird. It looks like uncanny and kind of human. I don't like it, but Mega Delphox looks cool, and it's going to be insane. This will be one of the best fire types we probably have in Pokemon Go. Definitely a top 10, I think a top 5. It's going to be a dual fire psychic type with a max CP of 5,408. It will be very, very good. It has Blast Burn because it's a Community Day Pokemon, so Fire Spin Blast Burn will be the best move on it, and this is going to be a monster of a Mega when it drops, so really worth getting the candies for this thing. Another very cool one, Mega Drampa, which turns into this like cloudy, almost like anime cloud looking dragon. Super sick. I love this a lot. I think Drampa is a very cool Pokemon. We have its shiny. It's useless, but I think it's very cool. This is going to be a dual normal and dragon type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,399, making Drampa now useful and worth getting in Pokemon Go. So if you're like me and you've got a ton of them and a bunch of shinies just because they've been around, they're now useful. Really, really excited about that. Mega Drampa will be cool, and I think will be pretty useful as a dragon type. Here's a cool one I probably will never get, Mega Zygarde, because I refuse to use the routes feature to get enough thingies to get my Zygarde up. But Mega Zygarde, this is probably, if we're talking about like powerful Pokemon, this is probably the most powerful, most overpowered Mega in all of these 48 new Megas. Mega Zygarde will be game-breaking. And the reason why is because it is a dual ground and dragon type with a max CP of, get this, 8,589. Also, not to mention, its attack stat is 404. It's one of the only Pokemon in the entire game with an attack stat over 400. Its defense stat is 181, which is very low, so it means it's going to be a bit of a glass cannon. It's going to die kind of quickly, but it's got 8,500 CP. This thing is going to be a monster, and its stamina is 415. Its HP is 415, which, again, is one of the few Pokemon with an HP stat over 400. This thing will be absolutely insane, which is frustrating because this now means that I probably need to start doing routes, and I probably need to start getting the Zygarde cells so that I can, like, level it up, and I'm probably gonna have to dump a bunch of candies and maybe even rare candy XLs into Zygarde so I can max it out to level 50, because then it could be 8,500 CP. And also, the only Pokemon that can get this high in CP is Gigantamax. What is it? Not Xerneas. Oh god, what was the Pokemon that we all spent too much money on? Eternatus. Eternatus is the only Pokemon that we have that can get like that high in CP, but it can only happen in a Gigantamax raid, right? So Zygarde will be the only Pokemon in Pokemon Go that can get over 8,000 CP in normal gameplay, right? Like, you could use this in a raid because it's a Mega. I don't know when they're going to release this. I don't know how this is going to work. This is probably going to take some time and some balancing because this is insane. But at 8,500 CP, this will easily be the best dragon type in the entire game, like by far. Its best moves are Dragon Tail and Outrage. It has insane damage output. This thing is going to just melt as a dragon type. I don't think this gets a ground type fast move. So if you want to use this as a ground type, it can learn Earthquake, which is great, but you'll have to use like Dragon Tail Earthquake. So it will still be useful as a ground type for sure. 8,500 CP. I mean, this thing will kill everything. But that's insane to look at. So Mega Zygarde, really something to keep your eye on. And again, this maybe now means we all should probably like go and use the routes feature and get ready for it. We'll also have Mega Scovillion, which is kind of cool. This, again, makes this Pokemon and this family now useful. This is going to be a fire and grass type, kind of a cool dual typing with a max CP of 3,728. It's probably not going to be the best grass or fire type, but it, again, makes it useful to have now because it's a Mega. This one's very cool. Mega Glamora. We recently got Glimet, right? Whatever that Pokemon is. We recently got that in Pokemon Go. It's not great. Its evolution is not great, but its Mega is going to be insane, which makes me completely regret not catching more of these when they were available, when they were first released. Luckily, though, I feel like we'll probably have kind of a lot of time before this one specifically comes out, just because the Pokemon itself just came out in Pokemon Go. Then we need it to come back a couple times, then we need it shiny, and then I think we get its Mega like in maybe even a couple years from now, which gives us hopefully all enough time to get more, because Mega Glamora is going to be nuts. It's going to be a poison and rock type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,877. It's going to be huge. So this will become probably one of the best rock types in Pokemon Go. Although we do have great rock types, we have Mega Tyranitar, Mega Aerodactyl. We've got very good rock types, but this will join them as one of the best rock types in the game, and it is a dual typing, which is cool. So Mega Glamora, worth looking at. Then we've got some more regional ones. We've got 3 Mega Tatsugiri forms, right? There's 3 different Tatsugiri, so we've got 3 different Tatsugiri forms. We've got the Droopy form, which is going to be a dragon and water type. Actually, you know what? All 3 of these will be the same typing, and they're going to have the same like stats, essentially. So regardless of what part of the world you're in, regardless of which Tatsugiri you have, if you Mega Evolve it, it's gonna be the same thing as all of the other ones. So it really doesn't matter which form you have, and they just look slightly different. But we got Mega Tatsugiri Droopy form, Curly form, and Stretchy form. And again, they're all gonna be a dragon water type with a max CP of 4,169. But 4,100 CP, that is a useful Pokemon. It will make Tatsugiri now useful, which is super cool. So that's worth hunting and worth getting candies and worth getting good IV ones for, because at 4,169, it'll be a good dragon type, it'll be a good water type. That's fun. One of the big ones we have is Mega Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is like the Tyranitar of its generation, and now it's going to be one of the most useful Pokemon in the entire game because Mega Baxcalibur will be a dual Dragon and Ice type, both very useful typings, with a max CP of 6,377, one of the biggest Pokemon in the entire game as a Mega. Attack stat at 341, defense stat at 227, which means it's got a very high attack stat, it's got a very beefy defense stat. This is going to be a tanky Pokemon, it's going to be huge, and it's going to deal a lot of damage. Its best moveset will be Dragon Breath, Avalanche, but, you know, you could have Dragon Breath Outrage, you could have Ice Fang Avalanche, so you can basically TM this Pokemon to either a Dragon or an Ice type. And of course, since it's a Mega, you can have one Baxcalibur that is TM'd to be a Dragon, and one Baxcalibur that's TM'd to be an Ice, because you can only have one active Mega at a time, and then you can just Mega Evolve one or the other depending on which scenario you need it for. And you probably want to do that. You probably will want to do that because this is such an insane Pokemon. 6,300 CP is ridiculous. So that's the best advice that I could give you now is catch as many there's Arctibax, Baxcalibur, Frigibax. Catch as many Frigibax as you possibly can. Get as many shinies, do as many trades back and forth so you can get some hundos and get ready because Mega Baxcalibur will be one of the best Pokemon in the game, making Frigibax one of the best Pokemon in the game to catch now as we prepare for it. So kind of cool. We'll also have Mega Chimecho. This is great. This is going to be a Psychic type Pokemon with a max CP of 3,991, which actually might make it a decent Psychic type Mega. The problem are the moves. It gets Extra Sensory and Psyshock. Psyshock is a good move, but like it doesn't do a ton of damage as a Psychic type Pokemon, unfortunately. But it's still a Mega, nearly 4,000 CP, and it makes Chimecho, which was a previously very useless Pokemon, minus the extra Stardust you get for catching it. It makes that Pokemon now useful, and it gives it some utility, so that's super cool. We'll also have Mega Glossopod, which now makes Wimpod worth catching. This thing also is going to actually be kind of insane. It will be a dual Steel Bug-type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,724 and a defense stat of 287, which means it's going to be pretty tanky. It'll take a lot of hits, and it can get up to 4,700 CP, and that's big. So this will most likely become the best bug type in Pokemon Go. It can learn Fury Cutter and X Scissor, which does a decent amount of damage with paired up. We don't really need bug types all that often, but when we do need a bug type, this will probably be the bug type that you'll want to have. We'll also get Mega Golurk. This one looks super cool. I like Golurk and Golett. It's like a Halloween kind of vibe, so this is very fun. This is going to be a Ghost and Ground type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,612. So this will be another very big Pokemon in the 4,600s. But, you know, we have a lot of great ground types. We have great ghost types. This will definitely be a useful ground or ghost, kind of depending on what you need it for. It'll be better as a ground type, but again, we have some pretty big ground types. But either way, Mega Golurk will be useful, and it makes Golett worth catching. Mega Staraptor up next. Very, very cool. It makes the, Staraptor family worth going for. Starly worth catching. You've got a fighting, flying type Mega with a max CP of 4,498. So another one that has a pretty high max CP, and this will become one of the most useful flying type Pokemon. Because although it's also a fighting type, it can't learn any fighting type moves, I don't think. And if it can, they're not really that great. So this will be one of the best flying types. So Starly, worth catching. Mega Crabominable, which is next. So cool. So Crab Brawler becomes extremely useful. This is going to be a fighting ice type Pokemon with a max CP of 4,583. Some of its best moves, though, will be actually water type moves, but it can get some pretty good fighting type moves. So this is going to be cool. I don't know exactly how useful this will be just because, again, the fighting type moves that it can get aren't that great, but it'll still be a very high CP Mega, a great dual typing, fighting, and ice, and it makes Crabrawler, which was previously useless, now useful. We'll also get some Mega Mythicals and Mega Legendaries. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be probably the best fire type, if not one of the best fire types in the game, Mega Heatran. And I'm so happy Heatran, which is just such a random pick, Heatran is the one that gets the Mega. Out of all of the random legendaries, it's Heatran because I have a Shundo. I have a Shundo Heatran. So I'm going to have a Shundo Mega Heatran, dude. Let's go. Let's go. That's so sick. Mega Heatran will be a dual fire and steel type with a max CP of 5,974. It will nearly break 6,000 CP. That's crazy. It's got a high attack stat. It's got a high defense stat. This thing is going to be tanky. It's going to deliver a lot of damage. It's going to be very high CP. It's a legendary. and it can get Fire Spin and the move Magma Storm. This thing is going to be a beast. It's going to be one of the best fire types in the game. So now Heatran, if you don't have any good ones, it is now one of the best legendaries to hunt because it will have a Mega that will be really, really great. Then we've got, check this out, Mega Darkrai. Dude, I'm getting cashed out on these new Megas because I have a Shundo Darkrai. So cool. Mega Darkrai will be another monster, one of the best dark types in the game. It already is one of the best dark types in the game, and now it's going to have a Mega, making it possibly the best dark type. This will be a dark type, pure dark type Pokemon with a max CP of 5,493. It's going to be huge, huge Pokemon. Best moveset will be Snarl and Shadow Ball, but it can learn Dark Pulse, so you can have two dark type moves on it that deliver a lot of damage. And again, especially as like, 5,500, nearly 5,500 CP Mega Pokemon, this thing's going to be a monster, and it looks really crazy. It looks scary. This is a scary looking Mega Pokemon. And again, Darkrai is a mythical. So big tip with Darkrai is that you can't trade it, right? So if you want more Heatran or better IV Heatran so that you can get ready for the Mega, you can just use Heatran as your special trade and just trade Heatran like every day, once a day, twice a day, until you get a good one, right? Darkrai, you cannot trade. The only way to get good IV Darkrai is by raiding it, right? So it's a very lucky Shundo that I have. So Darkrai has always been worth raiding because it's a very useful Pokemon. We also have we had Shadow Darkrai come out recently last year. So I know that some of you probably got some Shundo Darkrai there or some Shadow Shiny Darkrai. Remember though, you cannot Mega Evolve Shadow Pokemon. So if you have a good Shadow Darkrai and you want the Mega, you'll have to purify it. So just kind of like weigh your odds there. Another crazy one we'll get is Mega Magearna. Magearna is a mythical, I think it's a mythical. It is a mythical, yes. It's going to be a Steel and Fairy type Mega. This is again going to be insane with a max CP of 5,752. It's going to be huge. Although, from what I'm looking at on Pokemon Go Hub, I think the only moves that can learn are Splash and Struggle. Do we have Magearna yet in Pokemon Go? I don't know if we have this Pokemon yet. Do we have Magearna? I don't have Magearna. Maybe it's coming out in like an event happening pretty soon. But when it does come out, it's going to have a Mega, which will be very useful. We will probably get Magearna first, then Shiny Magearna, then Mega Magearna way in the future, or we'll get them all at the same time. We'll see. But this is going to be a pretty crazy Pokemon, especially as a Fairy type. Assuming it gets Fairy type moves, this will probably be one of the best Fairies, or a Great Steel type. It'll be both. And then we've got Mega Zeraora. We do not have Zeraora yet in Pokemon Go. This is a electric type mythical Pokemon, and now it's one with a Mega, which is going to be insane. This will be one of the best electric types in Pokemon Go when it comes out. It's going to have a max CP of 5,486, very high attack stat of 361, which is crazy. But the defense stat will be 180, so it's going to be, it'll die fast, right? So it'll be very high CP. It's going to do a lot of damage, but it won't last as long. And it knows just electric type moves. So whenever we get this in Pokemon Go, it by itself will be a great electric type. And then when it gets its Mega, it's going to be an insane electric type. But, obviously begs a question of like, how will we get Zeraora? How do you get Zeraora Mega Energy? Like, we'll have to figure it out. So when it comes to Pokemon Go and all of these brand new Mega Pokemon, the best ones that you're going to definitely want to prioritize and get ready for now include Mega Raichu Y, which is great because I'm sure we all have a billion Pikachu candy. I'm sure we all have 100% IV Pikachus. So Mega Raichu Y will be easy, but it will become one of the best electric types in Pokemon Go by far. It's currently competing with Pokemon like Shadow Raikou, Xurkitree, Regieleki. It's most likely going to be maybe even all of them. So it's going to be very useful. The second one, Mega Lucario Z. It will most likely be the #1 fighting type in Pokemon Go, beating out Mega Blaziken and Mega Heracross. And it's going to be a very, very, very useful steel type. I already said this one, but Mega Excadrill is absolutely going to be a top 3 ground type, if not the best ground type in the game. We're going to have to see when it comes out just because Shadow Groudon, Primal Groudon, and Mega Garchomp are all very good ground types, but this will definitely compete with them. Mega Dragonite will also be fantastic. It's going to be one of the best flying types in the game and a very useful dragon. Plus, it's like my favorite. Mega Floette will become one of the best, if not the best, fairy types, so really, really worth getting that candy. And Mega Frostlass will become maybe one of the top 3, one of the top 5 ghost types in Pokemon Go, and also be very good as an ice type attacker. So it will be really, really useful too. Let me know in the comments, which new Mega Pokemon are you most excited for? And check out these other 2 videos on screen right here where we go deep into some very exciting things or adventures. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one, and I can't wait to play with these new Megas.